watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown. We are so excited you have joined us today. I wanted to give a special welcome to our patrons that make the show go, especially our brand new executive producer level patron, Pia, over at Mad Visions, is our newest executive producer level patron. So welcome, Pia. He's actually been an executive producer level patron for a while. It's just we've been doing some backlogs and haven't had a chance to really give him a proper shout out yet. So again, thank you to him. And thank you to our other executive producer level patrons, Mr. TWYCE Diecast. Thank you, David. DrivenDreams.org. Thank you, Mark. First and 64th Customs. Thank you, Christian. Video Geek Productions. Thank you, Adam. And of course, our honorary executive producer level patron, Mr. Dane Self. All of these people keep the lights on and help things continue to roll. So if you want to join their ranks, you can hit the join button at the bottom of your screen, or you can visit diecastbreakdown.com and visit our Patreon page. Well, now that we got that out of the way, David, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, Chuck. And guys, we see you guys already commenting. They're waiting when the door is unlocked. So appreciate you guys being faithful patrons of Diecast Breakdown. No place I'd rather be than hanging out with you guys right now.
I agree. And David, you know, I think we're on like a momentous show. I think this is our 75th episode, give or take. Yeah. So we're 100 is creeping up on us fast. So on this beautiful day in April, what is exciting you in the world of Diecast?
You know, I'm glad you asked, Chuck. We've been doing the news a little bit different, and I don't know if all the viewers kind of have caught the change, and it's not anything that was super intentional, but Pia is helping us out with a lot of the news on the post. And if you guys aren't following the community page on Diecast Media Network on YouTube, you're missing out on a ton of new information. Shout out to Pia for doing that. But we do like, we like talking and showing some of the new stuff as well. And we always enjoy giving our feedback and opinions on it, and like to see your comments about it as well. I'm going to kick it off this week. I noticed today, Chuck, that Mini GT has a pop-up in LA where they're doing a big Liberty Walk event where I'm not sure, maybe it's like a flash mob. It's not super publicized and they just pop it up. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I did see this earlier in the week for the Diecast Expo in Malaysia. We have got this Nissan Silvia, and there is a top secret deco, two different versions of it on the Silvia. So this is a new release coming out from Mini GT. Keep your eye out for that. And if you're big on the expo and convention cars, this is going to be a hot one. This was, again, for the Malaysia Diecast Expo. Up next, I found this a little bit interesting, and I'm not sure how you guys are going to view it. We have got one of the new Hot Wheels Super Rigs, and I showed this because, you know, it's a little different than stuff in my collection. A lot of you guys like these sets and hauler sets. I saw an interview with Brendan Vituski on one of Lamley's videos, and he was talking about how much freedom and artistic license they are getting on some of these rig sets, and this is this is an example of that.
Oh yeah.
Any guys interested in this? Maybe
I certainly am. I think this is fantastic. You know, I like the super rigs set up, and I love aircraft that at least are attempting to be in 1/64 scale. So it looks like this one's actually pretty close, and reminds me of an A-10 Warthog. So
Yep,
I am here for it. I think this is great. This is a perfect Gaslands super rig vehicle. I could totally see doing a custom of this one. So I'm honestly a little mad that you beat me to this bit of news because it is, you know, right up my alley.
All right, well let's get in my alley now. Vision 64 is a brand that I'm not familiar with, but they are coming out of the gate pretty strong. We have got some going back to Liberty Walk. We have got 3 versions of a Lamborghini Countach in true 164 scale. I think the colors are in Italian in the bottom right-hand corner of these pics. So 2 of them are hidden, but it's a yellow, a black, and a white, I believe. But that's pretty cool if you think about a Countach with a Liberty Walk body kit. And
Mm.
I see a few of you guys commenting already. Yeah, it's going to be a good one to get on your radar. Vision 64. And I bet, Chuck, I bet last week's guest, Mike over at RDDC, might stock his store with some of these. This looks
Mhm.
kind of stuff he will have. All right, let's get to stuff that's a little bit more accessible for all of us. If you're out looking at main lines in the near future, keep an eye out for this really cool Mark V Supra from Matchbox. Have you guys seen this one yet? I think
Mhm.
hitting the shelves soon. But I wanted to give, we're not always looking for the crazy, obscure new brands and stuff overseas. This is some pretty cool stuff coming. And this photo is courtesy of Ministry of Diecast. Thank you for putting this out there. New Supra from Matchbox on the shelf soon. Last one I've got, Chuck, NO64, one of our favorite brands to look at. We've talked about their F40 coming out in the past. Here is one in blue in another Liberty Walk body kit. This is pretty cool. We just don't see enough Ferraris in 164 scale. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to let Chuck talk about what he is excited about in the world of diecast.
Well, thank you, David. I am excited about this special version of the Proton Saga. It's one of my favorite new castings that Hot Wheels has done recently, just because I love that it's a shout out to the folks in Malaysia where so many of these cars are made. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
it's a 4-door car of the people. And I love 4-door cars of the people. So this is a special Malaysia exclusive card that I'm sure you'll see popping up on eBay and whatnot shortly. But very cool card art, and again, a really nice nod to the people that make the cars
Yep.
that made our childhood special. I think it's very cool. And if you checked out Pia's recent post, you've seen some pop race castings that are causing a stir. This is the new Honda Civic in yellow, an RX-7 in blue, and a Kelsonic Skyline. Very cool looking stuff from Pop Race. I've got a couple of their castings, and they are great. They're
Agreed.
maybe not necessarily top of the line, but they're still, for the price point, I think, really darn good cars. And they pick some really cool castings and do a great job on the proportions and scale. Um, Greenlight is supporting the Free Comic Book Day on May the 4th. So don't miss out on your chance to score this exclusive diecast delivery van that looks suspiciously like a van that loves it when the plane comes together. But
That's right.
yeah, it's got some body modifications that look a bit familiar. But yeah, very cool casting. I've got a couple of these ones, and it is excellent. Future guest M2, we hope there'll be a future guest anyway, has some cool new Coca-Cola hauler sets. I know Mike Zarnock is a big fan of their haulers, and I agree. I think they're some of the best haulers in the game. Issues that people have with M2 aside, on the quality control, again, I still think that's more to do with the people that put them on the shelves and manhandle them and them
Right.
getting dropped a lot more than it is actually M2's fault. But it is what it is. So also, were you guys aware that there are trading cards in the hobby now?
Huh. How about that?
Felix over there at Tarmac Works is getting pretty creative with stuff. And so you may have seen these. They're definitely a love it or hate it kind of thing. I've seen some people giving them a lot of love, and I've seen some people giving them a lot of grief. So I'm eager to know your thoughts on that. Let us know in the comments what you think of those. Last week, I was very excited because this 68 CUDA came out, and I think it's a very, very cool casting. And I'm
Yep.
probably going to do a crack open of it later on the show. It was interesting, though, because it didn't sell out right away. It was like I came to it like at 4:00 in the afternoon Eastern time after the thing had dropped, and it was still available. So I actually had time to get a new RLC membership and buy the car, and it showed up. So I know some people have been concerned about the quality control on RLCs lately. The McLaren's had some known issues. There's been some postings on this one with some quality control issues. Mine seems fine. And but yeah, I thought I was done with RLC, and then I realized I can't resist a bright blue Mopar A body as the owner of a bright blue Mopar A body. So had to get that one. Diecast Talk just did this really cool, not officially licensed, but you know what it's from. Toyota
Great
Hilux pickup. Great Scott. It is straight from the 80s, a custom pickup. They did 1,400 regulars. They did 200 with a sign that looks like a sign from a movie that will take you back and drive you forward. And there are 50 raw chases. I was able to get one of the ones with the sign and one of the regulars. I don't know if I got a chase yet. So we'll figure that out.
Hey,
soon.
real quick, Chuck.
Yeah.
Guys, the designer from Diecast Talk is a fellow named Isaac. He came up and introduced himself to Chuck and myself in Atlanta, in our room, saw the whole podcast setup, and we've got Isaac scheduled to be on the show here in a couple months. I know you will enjoy getting to meet a designer who has their own really line of diecast vehicles and basically creative control over what he puts out. I think that's pretty exciting. We're not talking about somebody working for Mattel. We're talking about a guy doing it, himself. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And this Toyota Tacoma here on the right in a spectralific pink will be dropping tomorrow over at Diecast Talk. So be sure to check it out. They've got a lot of really cool stuff coming out there. And speaking of people who are doing cool stuff, it's time for our small channel shout out. Shout out to Scale Dude 78. His link is in the description. He's only got a few hundred subscribers, so if you get a chance, go check him out.
Get that up.
And let's get those numbers up. And if you've got some things on your mind, if you got some news, or you're doing a giveaway, or you're doing a customs project, send it our way, diecastbreakdown@gmail.com, and we'll probably mention it on the show. As always, please remember, Driven Dreams is still a thing, and we are collecting cars now. People have done some really awesome stuff. Mike over in North Carolina with his Hobby Town has been collecting cars in a box. He's going to be sending some stuff to donate as well, which is really cool. So check out drivendreams.org as well. And as we mentioned, Pia is one of our newest contributors, but we are still looking for more people to kind of help spread things out a little bit. We are all volunteering. Everything that we make from the show goes immediately back into making the show better. But if you've got a desire to share your thoughts on Diecast or create some videos, we're always looking for contributors. So drop us a line at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com or diecastmedianetwork@gmail.com. All right. Well, that's the news. We will be back in a little bit with Raymond, aka the Card Guy from Instagram, one of the best customizers in the game. We are really excited to talk to him, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we will be back with Raymond. So stick around.
Back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. Legendary Hollywood concept artist and designer Fireball Tim Lawrence has created 3 exclusive pieces of automotive art based on the 3 hosts of Diecast Breakdown. Get these and other brilliant designs printed on mugs and more at fireballtimgarage.art today. Diecast Breakdown would like to thank Diecast Heroes Magazine for supporting this program. Diecast Heroes Magazine is the premier digital and print resource just for diecast customizers. Visit diecastheroes.com and see what the best customizers in the world are up to. The Diecast Media Network store is here. Wear your passion with pride, featuring designs from Diecast Breakdown, Flying Valiant builds, plus unique designs inspired by diecast culture from Justin Ellis. Visit tpublic.com/Diecast Media Network now. If you have a favorite diecast channel with less than 700 subscribers and you'd like to see them highlighted on a future episode, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com. And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
All right. Well, we are back and we're really excited to talk to Raymond. We're going to see if this works here. So I'm going to push a button and hopefully he will be here when I push that button. So let's see. Raymond, are
Boom.
you there? Okay. We can see him. I don't think we can hear him. He's muted. Let's see. There
Yeah.
you go.
Can't
There
hear
he
me.
Boom.
is.
There you go. What's going on, Raymond?
What's going on, fellas? How's it? How's everything?
Well, it's going really well. We're excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're Instagram is one of those areas that I think a lot of people it's interesting. There's like a YouTube side to the hobby and an Instagram side to the hobby, and I'm sure there's a TikTok side as well, but it's really cool to kind of merge the two when we can and get somebody from Instagram over here to talk about stuff. But we're really excited to have you on. And for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about why you are called the Card Guy.
I don't really remember much about how it came about. There was one of my friends is also a collector. Um, he asked me one day if I could make a card for him, and because he saw me working on my iPad, and I was just doodling and stuff on my iPad, and then he asked me, "Hey, can you do art, uh, a Hot Wheels card?" I was like, "How?" I don't know. So you end up googling it, and first thing that pops out when you Google, how to make a Hot Wheels card is like the template of the size and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I end up grabbing that information and putting it into my iPad, and from there he started to say, just put the Hot Wheels logo and a little bit of background of this and that. Just grabbing images from Google, and I basically it took me like 15, 20 minutes to make it. And he was excited. I was like, hey, well, can you print it out? I was like, well, I don't know what type of paper you guys use, but I mean, it's not the same cardboard. It's not, I just wanted to put it on at that time, I didn't know what a protector was either. So I just put it on a protector, whatever, and put the card there. So that's how it came about. And I guess it started with spreading out. I started getting more into it and putting more different ideas into the cards. And I guess the name stuck. Somebody said, "Oh, you're the guy that does the cards," and I guess the name stuck with that. So I tried looking for a name or an ID or some type of name for the handles I was going to use for Instagram, and so I just put the card guy, I guess, 'cause I'm the guy.
Mhm.
There's nobody out there at the time that was making cards for Hot Wheels or designing cards. So
Yep.
when I came about with that, people started asking more and more if I could do it, I could do this, I could do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Raymond, you said something there. It kind of struck a nerve. Like it took 15, 20 minutes to crank out that first one.
Yeah.
But man, the presentation and the extra oomph that you get on a custom when you get the whole thing, the whole package, it really like it takes it to another level. So I guess how important is it when you are doing all of this hard work for a custom to or how much better can it be when you take it to that next level and you do something different and maybe do a custom card or a custom base or put something extra personal in a custom? Like what does that mean to you as an artist?
Well, as an artist, it gives me the liberty to like explore all my anything that I kind of come up with. Anything in my imagination, you can just put it. It's like a painting to me. That's how it feels
Hmm.
like. Um, I had a teacher once. I used to go to a art school, and she said that there's no. It's I think Bob Ross did say the same thing. There's no mistakes when you're
Happy
doing art.
accidents.
Happy
Mhm.
accidents, and so she said something in the same way. And at first, when I was at that age, I didn't understand. But I look right now when I'm doing designing a card, um, I think of how I used. I think as an artist instead of a collector that wants to see something in a card. So, for example, I'll take an idea and I already have something in my head, but I start brainstorming with other guys and the collectors and the collecting the environment, and they'll start feeding me more information. And now I'm putting it into all this huge canvas that's 4 by 6.
Yep.
and from there, I don't know, but to me, it feels like something's missing when I'm doing a custom. When I'm doing my customs now, I think not only about the decals and the color scheme I'm going to use on casting. I also think about if I'm going to put it on a card, or I'm going to put it in a display case. There's some things I can't put on the card, obviously, because it's either too big or too heavy,
Hmm.
or I don't have a blister that could hold it in place. So now I'm thinking about, okay, so let's go into the display case and see how I can fit this into the display case and what I will need to make that background of the display case look nice. So that adds, like you said, that to it. So yeah, it takes me more to figure it out, even though I said 15 or 20 minutes for that particular card.
Right.
Each time that I come with an idea, I'm very like a perfectionist, so to speak. I once I you think that I'm already done with it, I come up with something when I was at work. And it's, oh, I'm gonna add this quick. So
Yep.
I go back into my iPad in my break time and I add that, and I keep on adding stuff to it. And then you could say that it looks perfect the way it is. I'm like, no, something's missing there. And I'll keep on adding stuff, which is, I don't know, it's just me. But I see other people um, that also do their cards now, and it's quite, to me, it's awesome because when I first started this, there was maybe one or two people that will actually like the box man Jimmy Chavez, who would do his card art and make it into this whole display case thing, that's what inspired me to do what I'm doing now. Um, but now there's more people doing that, like I don't know, like Ricer Customs, Lander Customs are some of the people I could think of that right off the
Hmm.
top of my head.
Sure. Sure.
So they do also cards. There's another guy from France, I think he is. Forgot his name right now,
So
but they do.
Milos.
I think so. He has a weird name. It's very hard to
Yeah.
pronounce. But yeah, all these guys are getting better and better. A lot of people in Malaysia are also doing the same thing. There's one of the guys that he's used as protectors, and now he has like a blister that falls into the place with where the bubble of the protector is. So each people gets is taking the game to the next level each time. So
Yep.
that's how I feel when I see something like that. I was like, oh, I gotta step up my game now, or how I could put my own trademark to what I'm doing right now. But yeah, everything that when I start doing designing one of the cards that I'm making, I always start with that blank canvas. That's how I look at it. It's like I'm creating another painting.
Hmm.
So I got a lot of people texting me now. But yeah, that's the way I feel as an artist.
Hmm. So when did you really start customizing? What was it like to, what prompted you to take up a drill and start taking the cars apart?
Um, it started because when I first, when you were a kid, we had all these Hot Wheels and Matchboxes and stuff. Um, Obviously, I grew that at some point. When I got back into the game, it was when I first saw the combi come out. It was like 2013, I think it was 2014 at that time. Um, I saw the combi and I saw someone doing a wheel swap at one of the shows that I went. He did a wheel swap, and I compared one with the other, and I asked him why he did that. Well, how do you do that? And he explained to me you kind of drill it, or you could do this and that. He explained me quickly on the top, not in too much detail, but I quite understand what he said. And then I went to Google, YouTube, and started searching to see how wheel swaps. That's what he told me. So that was the word that I put in, wheel swap.
Hmm.
And there was a couple of videos at that time of how to do wheel swaps. Um, but at that point, I wanted more combis, and I saw a picture of a combi from. It was like a rusty kind of look on that combi, and they even put like a for sale.
Yeah.
I end up
Hmm.
I end up texting a guy, but I never got a response back. I asked one of the guys, do you guys know this dude? Oh, I don't know where he's from, but everybody is doing that right now. It's customized. You could try hit Chris Walker. That he
Yeah.
was one.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Night Stalker.
basically the main guy in this whole environment of customizing, and so he was one of the first. Then I saw Boxman on eBay, and that's what caught me my attention as far as, like I said, making cards for it. So there was something else that I was craving more for part of the collection, because there was only, at the time, I think there was only 3 of the casting from the Cool Combis. And then I said, how can I get more? How can I get more of this casting in particular? And that's how they told me. They said, hey, you could customize it. You could just open them up and you could strip it. So all of this whole thing that I'm doing right now, it took me a while to kind of perfect where I'm at right now. But it was fun. It was something that was distracting from, your everyday life. Like I said, it's a hobby for me. But you have so much time when you're working in a hobby. You have so much time that eventually time flies, and you think you were there for just an hour. When you're like 4 hours, and now your wife is telling you, "Are you gonna stay there for the?"
That's right.
Yeah.
Come to bed.
Yeah,
Raymond,
come to bed.
show us some of your work while you're talking. I think the viewers want to see, if you haven't seen Raymond's art, it really is. I mean, he's at the top of the game, and he has been for a while. And
This,
Raymond, you're the best place to get a good handle on your work. Is that going to be Instagram?
yeah, mostly
Okay.
Instagram.
And it's
I'm
the
trying
card
to
guy HW.
HW. I'm trying to open. I opened a TikTok account, and I'm trying to put some videos in that. Um, Also, I started in Whatnot. I was actually doing a show last night. So the ones I'm not showing you right now, they're already sold. So unfortunately, for
Mhm.
those people that get to see it, oh, I want that one. Yeah, these are already sold. So for example, this one's from the Hellfire Club. This is
Stranger
this is
Things.
from the Stranger Things.
Nice.
This card. So if you're looking at this card, this image here, this obviously from the series itself. The
Mm-hmm.
rest of the stuff in the background, I added to it because I just didn't want to let it be like just a white background. I wanted to give it some like you said, something
Yep.
looks pretty cool and something different. Um, Obviously, this is the backside of that.
Love the
But yeah,
hologram sticker too.
yeah, I got the hologram sticker. I always put my signature. For those people that ask, why you put this number here, that's actually the number of customs I've done so far since I've been
Shoo!
recording. Since I've been keeping track of it. So that every time, if you just happens to buy one of my customs and you see that number, that's not I made 900 or something of this. No, it's
Right.
just the customs I've made so far. And I
Mhm.
just like to keep that as a recollection or a guideline to where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
when
I
you
already
d-
have.
when you buy one, does that you throw in a protecto with it when
Oh
you
yeah, always,
send it? Okay.
always. Oh, I always send everything the same way that I would like to receive it. I also, add some stickers to the whole thing. Um, I ran out of thank you cards, but I'll get back to that at some point. This is another one that I sold last night. This is
Mhm.
a combat medic. Um, I also I also like to do things that Mattel has produced already, and just give it a different feel of how better it could have been if Mattel would have done this.
Mhm.
Uh, so, like in this case, the fire rods. So
Mm.
I took the image of the fire rods, and instead of being was it yellow, the original one,
Mhm.
I did this one into hydrochrome red, and put some LODC wheels on it.
That's killer, man.
Mhm.
And so stuff like that people like is different. It could add to the collection. This one was just a hot one. I made 3 of these only, so people was just jumping on it. But
Wow.
it's stuff like that. Like that one, I also did the Cop Rods version of that one. So it's the
Wow.
same way. So even though I don't know. I might get in trouble with Mattel, but people just want that.
Yeah.
This is another one that's sold last night. This has been very popular.
Look at that. That is cool.
And see right there, guys, you see the difference in a custom base and just a background on the back of that case. I mean, it just
That's a
makes
ton.
the whole thing.
Yeah, it tells a story. To me, like every card, every background that I do on the display cases is to tell a story, to add to a story that you already have within the card,
Hmm.
the custom itself. Let me check this. This is pain, but yeah, this is how it looks, and this is the background of that. If you guys can see it right.
And
Nice.
Chuck, that's what we talk about on the show is like we want to hear the story behind it.
Yeah. So we do have a question from the audience. Alfred wants to know, do you have to make the blisters also? Or do you just make
No,
the card?
I acquire my. What I do is I recycle blisters, and I also buy blisters from people like Solar and Sons. There's another gentleman that I bought um, at the Nationals. That was my first time meeting him there. Well, I didn't meet him there. I actually got a card from them. He was, I guess, he left a sample to one of my guys when I went to the Nationals now a couple of weeks ago, and he had blisters for the gassers and um, cars for like JDMs, like this, Skylines are a little
Hmm.
bit bigger.
Mhm.
Not you could use the smaller ones also, but I'm very picky. I don't like the car to be dancing around when I ship it
Hmm.
Yeah.
because eventually it's gonna crack the blisters. But you could go on Facebook and you could let me see. Give me a second. Let me see. I got a card here.
Mhm. While you're getting that, PJ also wants to know, do you have a website?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't got time for a website. This is a hobby. Um, I know I would like to, but at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So that's why I keep it little with what I put on Instagram and what I take on and whatnot, like I did last night. So Solar and Sons is one of them. You can
Okay.
hit them
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Pause that. Find it.
and then this is the gentleman that I was selling for the gassers. Yeah, they sell them pretty cheap, in my opinion. Solar and Sons has his for like $1, and the other guy was, I think, a little more expensive. I think it was, but I usually when I order like 100, and then so if I don't have, oh those if those um, this blisters um, don't help, what I would do is I'll recycle the ones that I buy from the store. So
Hmm.
if you buy one of the main lines, I'll use some acetone and apply it on the backside and
Hmm.
carefully remove it. And then after that, sometimes you have some residue left over,
Hmm.
and I'll grab grab an X-Acto blade with the curve, and I clean it a little bit. If you go into my Whatnot account on my Whatnot page, I left a clip of how to do that, so you guys won't mess up the blisters. You can reuse
Hmm.
them after that.
So Raymond, you have been on Instagram for a while. Tell everybody how long you've been on there. Just how many years? Almost 10?
Almost 10, yeah.
Okay.
I think I opened
Wow.
it in 2016, I think it was.
So you're one of the pioneers on Instagram in terms of diecast. And what I'm getting at is now you're doing a lot of moves on Whatnot. And that is a platform that the diecast community is really seeing a lot of action on. Explain for people that don't know what's going on Whatnot, why would diecast collectors want to know what this site is all about?
Well, I didn't know about Whatnot till one of my guys. I was in a show. I had a table set up, and I see one of my friends. He's he's streaming live. I didn't know it was Whatnot. I had no idea what Whatnot was at the time. I think Whatnot had like maybe 1 or 2 years at the time. But anyway, he's streaming and he's asking me how much you got this one, how much you got this one, and he actually ended up selling it, through Whatnot, and then he gave me the money for it. And at the end of the day, after that show, I was like, "What the hell did you just do? How did you sell that? Was it eBay?" He
Hmm.
was like, "No, this is whatnot. You got to get in." Blah blah blah. At that time, there were maybe I say 50 sellers in the diecast community at that time. Um, and then like within a 6 month period after we all met, a group that we call the family, the Whatnot family, we met at the Nationals in Ohio. It just took off all of a sudden. It was like people started coming in. I guess the word spread out. But it's to me, it's an alternative to like. There's a lot of people that can't make it to a show for whatever reason, or there's not enough connectors in their area, so they don't have that ability to get some of the customs that or not customs mainlines or RLC cars that they're to form their collection. And so Whatnot, something besides eBay, Whatnot is the perfect way to do it. As a buyer, as a seller, it's fantastic because what I do is whatever I don't sell at a show, for example, I'll grab that and I'll go into a live stream later that night, which is what I did yesterday. So whatever I didn't sell at the show, I just go to Whatnot and just release everything I took back. There are times where it's so it's basically what you're doing is you're exposing yourself to more traffic. That's what it is.
Yep.
Um, that eBay is just stationary, so you're just waiting for somebody to buy some stuff from you, but you don't really interact with the person.
Mhm.
So that's what I love about Whatnot, that you get to interact. In my case, I took it to another level. I made something different out of it. I just didn't want to be a seller. I wanted to show people what goes into making a custom because everybody else was doing the same thing. They're just selling mail lines and treasure hunts and whatever you want not and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in my case, I wanted to expose how us customizers, all the grinding that we go through in making an art form because it's really an
Mhm.
art form right now at this point. You got people that actually paint stuff on the cars, like Mansonon. He's amazing. I love this guy. Um, there's this lady, or it's a girl. I don't know if it's a lady or a girl, but she's from Ukraine and she paints like half of her customs are painted, all
Hmm.
detailed. And she's also excellent. So yeah, a custom is actually an art. Um, and I wanted to show people that, you're selling it or we're asking whatever, 45, $50. They'll say, yeah, but that's no $1 card. Yeah, but you
Mhm.
have to see what's in the effort that we put into it.
Yeah.
We
That's
put different cars, we paint it, we strip them, we paint them, we apply the decals, we apply the clear, which people love. They like
Mhm.
that shiny car, like a brand new car. So
Yeah.
that takes effort as well. You have to have the perfect. If you like in my case, I spray outside. I need the perfect weather to do that. So a lot of things go into it, and just wanted to show people what it was. A lot of guys might say, "Hey, don't you're giving out your secrets." I was like, "Not totally true. I'm only showing them a couple of things, but
Mhm.
obviously, at some point, people are just gonna just want to do it also, and that's the first step to do it. Seeing someone actually make it. If you don't have YouTube or just don't know how
Mhm.
to find it on YouTube, then you can see it live and buy it at the same time. So
Mhm.
I love interacting with people.
No, and that's a good point. I'm a customizer as well, and I like sharing the process of how I do my customs. There's this attitude among some people that you've got to keep everything secret. Your whole process has to be a secret. And I'm like, look, man, Gordon Ramsay's one of the best chefs in the world, and his recipes are everywhere. You can get them for free. And his restaurants are having no problems getting filled. And the reason for that is the people that are interested in learning how it's made are probably not going to go out and do it themselves. They just want to know how it's made. They want to see the process behind it. And the
Right.
people that are going to go out and make it themselves, they're probably not going to be your customers anyway. So don't worry
Yeah.
about them. Yeah. So it's just, and I think it elevates the whole hobby when we get out there and we, show, you don't have to show everything, but just show, how it's done so they'll appreciate it. Because I've done the same thing. I'm curious, when you sold your first car, like, how was that for you? Because I've had a few people ask for commissions for me, and it's always the worst thing for me is going, how do I price this? I don't know how I put a price on this,
Yeah.
because in my head I'm thinking, well, it's a $1 car, and I'm like, but I also put probably like 10 or 12 hours into making one of these cars. And so, if I were to give myself an hourly wage for that, nobody would pay that.
No.
So how do you, how do
How
you
I
square
price
that
it.
circle when it comes up to your price?
Well, it depends on. There's a lot of factors to it. Not. I don't see like the effort I put into it because I do enjoy um, doing this. This is, like I
Mhm.
said, is my hobby, and instead of playing video games, and I just got sick and tired of playing Call of Duty and
Mhm.
Madden, and I wanted to do something that really I enjoy, which is art. And
Mhm.
this was that avenue that I took, and it's been great to me. As far as so pricing wise, I try to keep it at a price where it's accessible to people that actually collect. The ones that I do put in, like let's say over $100, is because of the effort that I went into it, and the materials that I had to put in for it to look like that, Like speaking of which, for like this one, for example, something like this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sell this for $45 because
Mhm.
the figures alone is gonna cost $40 each.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, each one of these castings, they don't come in the main lines. You have to pay at least $10 for each one of these. So now we're
Mhm.
talking about $30. So there's things that for the new collector or the person that doesn't know too much about customs. Uh, it's a way that's why Whatnot for me has been great because now they'll understand what goes into it. As
Mhm.
so, I usually try to keep my pricing. I look at other guys, how mainly guys from Malaysia, um, and the guys from California, the West Coast, that how they price their stuff, and it's based also on the paint that you use, um, the decal, the wheels, which is very important. Uh, you can't make a custom. It's like um, it's like making a painting, right?
Mhm.
And not framing it.
Right.
Right.
That's how it feels to me when if you're just putting back the same mainline wheels on that custom, something's missing there. Not everybody's gonna like it.
Mhm.
And they'll pay you maybe $20 and you're asking, I don't know, 45. They'll say they're willing to pay $20. And I say you can't. So
Mhm.
there's other ways where I negotiate where I just want the person to really take it. So I try to negotiate. I'll bring it down another $5, or I chip in something else. Or if you buy me another one, then I'll do a better price up for both. But I usually try to keep it between 40 and 45, like my starting rate, um, because basically most of the time you spend like at least $20 to $25 in materials alone.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I calculate it. Of course, the more materials, like in that case, that diorama, the more you put into it, and obviously the price is going to get a little bit higher. But a lot of people that do buy like something like that, they understand and they appreciate it. And I'm not saying that the ones that don't have the money or the funds to do it don't as well. But maybe I could offer you one, just the one figure, and maybe you
Mm-hmm.
could pay that. Which I've done before. I've done Jason, I've done the Freddy. I haven't done the Leatherface yet. But
Mhm.
those other two people we just grab it off the bat, even if they couldn't pay for this one. But yeah, that's when I compare the prices of how it is in the market, like everyone else. Um, I see other people that sell it for 20, 25,
Yeah.
but maybe their paint is not the same quality,
Mhm.
or maybe it didn't have uh, the rear riders that I use for this one. Like I use LDC wheels for this one, so they're a little bit higher. The Carlomos are a little bit more expensive. Anything that's wheels like rear riders from Hot Wheels, then you could price it a little bit lower. because obviously not spending as much on wheels.
Pia wants to know if you've got enough combis, Ray. He's real concerned about that.
Pia, Pia's my guy, dude. Shout
Mm.
out to Pia.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question for the future of customizing. So I like when we get to sit down with you, and we sat down with Yogi at Jakarta Diecast Project, and we talk about where can you guys go next? You guys are doing everything. We've got putty body kits, we got LEDs now. I mean, is there stuff out there that you as artists want to do, and like maybe the materials or the technology is just not there yet?
Dude, the sky's the limit. All this, ever since the 3D printers came out, that
Mhm.
was a total game changer. Total
Mhm.
game changer. I was interested in buying one, but I saw how my one of my friends was struggling because there's a lot to it. The final result is amazing, of course,
Yeah. But
but
it takes it takes a while. I got
it
into
takes a
it, and
while.
it takes the learning curve is steep. You basically assume the first round of supplies you get are
Yeah,
all going to be used to
wasted.
learn. You're not going to get
Yeah,
anything useful out of them.
but yeah, everything. It's like you said, when you think that okay, you topped off. I don't think you can't go anywhere from here. Totally wrong. There's always someone that's gonna come up with I don't know paint. Before this hydro process is going on right now with the hydrochrome. Whoever thought that we were gonna use car paint to put it into the Hot Wheels?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
although Hot Wheels does use that process, but we never thought that we as customizers or we the collector were going to go into that area and explore that area as well. So there's always that's the cool thing about art. There's never it's beyond the imagination. Whatever you want to do, you just try it and do it. Like
Mhm.
myself with the cards, I kept on researching and just how much money I put into the different types of paper that I wanted to buy because I wanted to get to that point.
Sure.
And even now, like for example, like nuclear mines, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
he does
Lee
amazing
Allen.
work.
Yeah.
Lee Allen, he's amazing. And then it turns out, like for this one, I had met him before, but it wasn't until this nationals that we actually sat and talked about what we do. And me in my wildest dreams, I never thought that his process is identical as mine, and we never talked about this. So that
Mhm.
was the amazing part of that. That he was like, "Wait, that's the way I do it," and I was like, "No way." So, but
Mhm.
your cards are. Um, he took it to another level. Simply, I took it. I took my own road of how I'm making my cards, and obviously he took his. He does amazing work for and is it Auto World and M2s and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Um, the other, but yeah, like right now, I already have an idea of another project that I have. And this came from inspiration from um, an artist that has nothing to do with the environment. It's just a regular artist. He made something that was like, I could do that into a Hot Wheel.
Mhm.
So I always look for inspirations on Instagram. I use Instagram a lot for inspiration this is
Sure.
from true artists. Um, not has nothing to do with Hot Wheels or collectibles or anything like that. It's just a simple an artist, and he used a technique that I'm aware of, that I know I could do it. And I'm just gonna apply it. I said, God, why did I do this before? And I'll apply it to that. Like I made one from sand.
Yes, I saw
You
that.
seen that, right? So I
Yeah.
made that from sand. So that came about because I live in the Clearwater. I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and there's a time, I think it's September, October, where they do sandcastles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's it. Let's do that. That's art.
Mhm.
So I just tried it on the Hot Wheels and it worked. That had some trial error here and there, but I made it work. And
Mhm.
now people are like, "How the hell did you do that?" I was like, "Is that really sand? Yeah, it's really sand."
Was that yours at the Collector Nationals? That sandcastle? I think it was a Batmobile.
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay. Yeah.
See,
Cool. Cool.
see.
Yeah.
But people, I made that idea also. Like 4 or 5 years ago, N2 made uh, what you call it, a chase. That
Mhm.
was all, I think it was a Buick or GTO that was completely paint it like in a khaki sand color. And I think it was a chase. I'm pretty sure it was a chase. And I made something similar to that where I painted the whole car the same way. And I sold a couple of them. I made a card for it and I sold a couple of those. But this one I just took it to another level where I added the sand and stuff like that. So, and people are just curious and I said, you could just look at it, don't touch it because it's actually sand. It's real sand.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah,
that's really cool. It's a great look. Now, as we're winding things down, I'm curious because I want to know a little bit some tips from you because I'm also looking to learn as well. Can you tell me a bit about hydrochrome, the process, like how that became something that's available to, people who are just working out of their backyards?
Well, the hydrochrome process, I don't have the chemicals for that. I have a friend that he does all the hydrochroming for that.
Okay.
Because I used to polish.
Yeah.
And you know how painstaking a process that really is.
Oh, yeah.
It takes, I don't know, anywhere from half an hour to an hour to polish to get to that spot. And the end result is fantastic, but it's painstaking. Then I tried powder coating. And the problem with powder coating is that if you hit it too hard or you stay in one spot too long, then the details on the casting is going to fade. So now let's try the hydrochrome. Where can someone find this hydrochrome process? And when I first did it, I just had a little bit, and I messed it up because I didn't really know how to use the chemicals and stuff like that. And these chemicals are really expensive. And even if you go online on YouTube, whatever, it takes time. So a friend of mine, he works with that. So I give him all the castings to him. Obviously, I strip them down and I drill them down. He does the chrome plating and everything else I do. So like the painting or the decals and stuff like that, everything else I do that because I just don't have, one, I don't have the time, and two, I don't have the equipment or proper equipment to do that here. Plus, my wife would kill me if I buy that type of equipment.
Yeah.
It is quite expensive.
Yeah. We do have a question from the Instagram side. Tanahara Design asks if you only customize Hot Wheels or if you do other brands as well.
I've done Matchbox. I haven't tried like the Innos or Neverland. I have a casting there from Neverland that I'm just curious. And I opened it and I cracked it open. I drilled it. Of course I did. My friends look at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah."
Nice.
But mostly I stick with Hot Wheels and some Matchbox I've done. These are eventually, I'll do maybe one or two of these because these cars are quite expensive. The Outer World, the Johnny Lightnings of the world, those are so hard because one, the wheels are like stuck. It's not the Hot Wheels where you could they're
pins built into the base.
Built into the base, correct. So I try not to play for that. It just takes too long. The N2s are easy to dismantle, but they're so delicate that now you're afraid that you might break it.
Oh man.
Keep your eye out for cartooned. I think you would be interested in customizing one of those. That's Tanahara's new line, and they're held together by screws, so they're easy to get into.
Yeah.
And man, I bet you would absolutely kill one of those.
I was thinking that too.
They're perfect already when they come from the factory.
They're really cool.
I saw that. I think I saw them in Orlando. I think it was when I first saw them. I was curious, and now for this Nationals one, they started blowing up a little bit.
Yep, they're
that's interesting.
Taking the hobby by storm.
Yeah, very exciting stuff happening over there.
You guys follow Stance GT?
Yes, a little bit, but
he's amazing. That guy's amazing. So, like I said, like we were talking about, it's endless.
Sure.
The possibilities of doing anything is endless. With 3D printing, like the way he's using it right now, who would have thought, 5 years ago that you could apply it for order casting?
Here's my challenge, Ray. working hydraulics. I want to see somebody do that. Somebody with a remote control.
Well, there is
1/64 scale,
Yeah.
not
1/64
bigger.
scale, yeah. It'll get there.
Yeah.
One day.
I saw a guy in Mexico that he did a thing where he had animated the car, but he used the base, like he built the base. All the mechanics was hidden in like this little placard, like planchette type thing, and so the wires and stuff were all moving the car around in there. But yeah, so it wasn't actually in the car. It was, you know, the like a little diorama type thing. So
it's hard because since 64 is so little.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a van, like let's say the T1 or super van type, where you could put all that equipment in the backside.
See, the wheels are turning. I can see.
There's a guy that does
exactly.
cop cars, and he does the full lights. Like it's got the light bar up top, the headlights flashing, the tail lights flashing, lights in the car going out. It's incredible. You know, the fact that the LEDs and the electronics have gotten so small. You know, it's incredible. But
and they use those LEDs are actually made for, you know, in the hobby of like train settings and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with Hot Wheels. And now someone just took that idea and applied it to Hot Wheels, and now everybody's following suit and trying to make it better and better and better and better and better, but it just gets better. And that's what I like about this hobby. I don't consider myself by far the best. I'm not, because I could give you a list of 20 names that are customizers that I truly inspire every single day, and I'm actually running after them because they do so much excellent work. So when you guys say he's one of the best, I'm like, no, I'm not. There's more people out there. People say, all of my friends say, no, you're one of the best here in the area. Give yourself credit, which I totally appreciate.
I would say so. You know, as a fellow customizer, I would say your stuff is right up there with the top builders. And it's again, it's relative, because, you know, are we talking like kid customs all the way up, or wheel swaps or whatever? Like on my opinion, if you're willing to take a drill to the car, you're already way ahead of the average collector, just because you're willing to try it. You know, so the fact that you can do it well, and people want to buy it. People don't buy things unless they're from somebody who is really worth buying from. I say that from sad experience, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. But anyway, so, you know, real quick, when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to do customs, what are some of the tips that you like to give people when they want to get started?
Have the proper equipment. So let's say have the right drill bit, because that's where you're going to start. You have the trophy to prove it. I do. I do have the trophy to prove it. It's back there. Kind of humbling. Drill bits is the first thing I'm going to tell them. Buy the right stripper. Not all strippers work ideally. I give them the tips of how to strip. What are you looking to do with this after you're done stripping with it? Because you need to clean that as well. Because if you don't clean it properly and you spray paint that paint is going to come off regardless. Because now you have that residue and stuff like that. So it's the little tips that people don't understand yet, because obviously they're starting off. And a lot of the tips or the how to make videos on YouTube don't show that part of the process, because they want it, you know, in the short term kind of thing, and something that runs in 3 minutes kind of. But me as a customizer that's been through all this grind, I'll give them the true tips, which is, you know, the drill bits, how you even as something as dumb as or as insignificant as applying when you drill it, then it's supposed to be in the right angle. Try not to hold it in your hand. Please don't drill with your hold it in your hand. You know, put it in
I have done that.
place.
It hurts.
Of course it hurts. It hasn't happened to me, but it's just
right there.
It's just like sometimes it's just common sense. You know,
I was showing off to my nephews, and I was like, "Oh, we'll just do this real quick," and then I just put a 1/4-inch drill bit right through my hand.
I just like that Ray said it was common sense, and Chuck is holding up his
no common sense here.
Sorry, no offense.
None taken.
But it's little details, you know. It's like it's just funny because yeah, safety applies to everything. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that the choice of wheels or places where you could acquire stuff that you're gonna use like decals. I don't know,
Mhm.
the little LED lightings and stuff like that. You go into a hobby store or a hobby shop and there's so many things to choose from, and you don't know how to apply it into this. And guess what? You could apply this to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a little details. That's why I like interacting when I go. Every time that I go to the nationals, I've been to like what five conventions right now, and I just want to interact with the other customizers and stuff. Um, Obviously, I want to meet them, but I want their feedback, what
Hmm.
they think of my stuff. Like when I met Boxman for the first time, I was blown away by him. He's one of my favorite guys. I mean, I'm truly inspired by him. I'm the car guy because of the Boxman. I may say that right off
Mhm.
the bat. Um, he inspired me that I could make this thing. And when he went to my room and I met him for the first time after so many years, him following me or following me, back and forth, it was really an honor to meet him. But it was way better when he started giving me feedback about my work, and that was truly honorable. So it's stuff like that. That's why I like going to these events, not because I'm able to sell my work and to showcase it, but it's more because I want to interact with everyone there. So thanks to the 6,000 followers that I have on Instagram, whatever, because truly I've gotten to meet at least maybe I want to say half of them through all these
Mhm.
events. And when they come to me, hey, car guy, and I say, you are, and they tell me their name, their handle. I was like, I don't remember you, but then they say, you sold me this one. Oh yeah, and I remember. So
Yeah.
that's the cool part.
Never
Spartan
forget
was
a
the
card.
latest one. You never forget
Yep.
a card.
Yeah.
I've done
Well,
900 of
you've done
them, and
960 something. I mean,
yeah,
that's a lot of names to remember. I mean,
exactly.
I've got 72 under my belt. So, that's a little easier to keep track of. Okay, who did I get this one to? But yeah. So that's
And if you
impressive.
follow my whatnot streams, everybody knows that when I put the number, I have a notebook where I write the number and the customer that was. If it
Mhm.
was like, let's say the hell what's one called that
The
Stranger Things
Hellfire
thing,
Club. Yeah.
Hellfire Club. Um, I wrote that down. It's a comedy Hellfire Club with this and that. That was number 960, whatever. So people know, people that really follow me for the longest time. You bought
Mhm.
half of them. Yeah, 2X Gen. Shout out to 2X Gen. They always buy everything from me.
Yeah.
Especially Amy and David are great guys. They're huggers. So for whoever doesn't know who 2X Gen, they're part of the Whatnot family. So yeah, they're huggers and they're great people. Great people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hobby is all about connections and relationships. And
Yeah.
Chuck and I just went to Atlanta and really drove home that fact. And it's really refreshing to hear someone like you say that and appreciate that. There's a lot of ways we can make money, but there's only a couple good ways to make solid friendships and have loyal fans like that. And
Yeah.
when you do it the right way, this hobby is so much better when we share it with friends. So I appreciate you saying that, Ray. That was
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, really appreciate you being here. We're going on an hour now, so we do have to wrap
Wow.
things up.
Yeah.
I know time flies when you do these
Yep.
things. It goes by
Yeah, it
real
does.
fast. I love it. I could sit here for hours, but I do have an obligation I need to get to. So as we're wrapping things up, let's once again, Raymond, remind people where they can find you, follow you, all that good stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram on the Car Guy HW. You could also, with that same name handle, you could go into my Whatnot account. You can sign up. Follow me there, and I guess I have like three or more shows I posted there. You could bookmark them so you won't miss them any. I'm trying to
Mhm.
do like once a month now, because of my time. That's what I'm able to do. But like this month, I've done three shows, so anything can happen. So. But yeah, you can follow me in those places. I used to have an eBay account, but I closed it because it was just too
Mhm.
overwhelming at that for me right now. And
Mhm.
but yeah, you could. I don't have a Facebook. I'm sorry, I don't have Facebook, but I do
It-
have Instagram. I do
sure.
have Facebook, but it's more personal. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Instagram and whatnot are the perfect places to go.
Awesome. Again, yeah, very cool. Well, again, folks, please check that out. We're linking to his Instagram in the show notes, but I'm sure it'll be very easy to. His whatnot link is in his profile, so you can check that out there as well. But yeah, again, Raymond, the card guy, HW, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah,
And it's been a blast getting to know you, and it's great seeing you out there. And we'll, I'm sure, see you again. I'm in Florida. I'm going to be going to some of the local shows here coming up. So
wait, you in
hopefully,
Florida? You didn't go to
I'm
yesterday's
Gainesville,
show?
man. Yeah,
Oh, you're in Gainesville. Yeah, you're kind of you're up there. That's what, 3 hours.
little bit down the road, but I'm still, it's still technically Central Florida, North Central Florida.
Yeah. Well,
But
if you come down 75, you're actually gonna pass my house. So whenever you're gonna go, if you go to the Tampa
right.
Bay outlets, then hey, I'm near the car guy because I'm actually
Okay.
like 3 miles from that. So
I will make sure to go check you out.
oh yeah,
And
I gotta give you one of these shirts then.
yeah, man. I'll bring you some of my stickers. So,
Yeah, there
but
you go.
yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, again, thank you, Raymond. Thank you, David.
Thank you guys for
Again,
inviting me.
shout out to David, by the way. He's been doing an awesome job with scheduling and producing the stuff behind the scenes for me. It's been really awesome working with him. And again, shout out to him for all the work he's put in. So thank you, David.
Shout out to Pia.
And shout out
And
to Pia
Pia.
for all the community posts. That's been great as well. And our thoughts and prayers are with Mark. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with Mark. He's just he's away from the show for a little bit on paternity leave, but he will be back.
For Mark.
Yeah. So pour a little out for Mark. But yeah. So again, folks, thank you for making it to the end of another episode of Diecast Breakdown. Again, a huge shout out to our patrons that make the show go. If you want to join their ranks, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com or click the little join button down below. Again, we're trying to post a lot this year. We're looking to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you can hit the like, subscribe, it's been great. You guys have been really tearing it up for us. We're passing 4,200 really quick. We started this year at under 3,000, and so it's been really growing, and we're grateful for that. So thank you all. Thank you, friends, neighbors, family everywhere. We are so grateful you're here, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. And as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.
You guys.